Joining me today is the very lovely Kylie, and I am excited because we are making cocktails.
Yay!
What are we making today?
So we're going to make a drink called Melon, which is basically a rock melon drink that my mum used to make for us when we were little kids.
My mum used to make it for me too.
So good,
Classic
right?
Filipino drink.
Exactly, but today we're going to make it into a cocktail.
Okay. And we're using some beautiful Victorian produce as well.
Yes.
Okay, but let's start with the rock melon.
All right, it's literally a rock melon drink, but we call it melon, not melon, but you can do either. First, we're just going to get rid of the seeds, but you don't want to
Don't want to take away the beautiful flesh.
No, exactly. You want to save as much of that as possible. I mean, I just really love this drink because it reminds me of my mum, but in summer, it'd always be sitting in our fridge. My mum would make it. Now, I'm just using a little citrus zester, and you want to save as much of that juice as possible.
Yeah, you want to have those lovely strands in there.
Exactly.
I mean, it reminds me of my mum too. I have these very vivid memories of her. I guess it's the sounds of it. You have the ice in the drink and that kind of clinking on the glass.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a summery drink that refreshes you.
Exactly. And I was thinking about it before. All Filipino drinks have bits. And you can see how it's like pretty pulpy.
I guess that's because our drinks are also like our snacks, right? Like we have the buko pandan shake, we have our halo halo, which is a merienda, more of a dessert, but it also kind of subs in for a drink.
Sago.
Sago, and we've got all this beautiful tropical produce on hand.
And that's the thing, like when I was growing up, fruit was always sort of front and centre of our table. It was the way we finished every meal. Like we didn't necessarily have dessert, but we'd always have fresh cut fruit. I don't know, whenever I think of my family, that kind of freshness and the fruit always comes to mind.
Okay, how's that looking, Kylie?
Look, my mum would not be satisfied with this, but as I've always done as a child, I'm not going to do things properly. I'll leave that as it is.
I'm also very thirsty.
I'm thirsty. Ideally, you would want to do that whole half. Add a litre of water.
Now, does it matter if it's cold or room temperature?
Not necessarily, because this is going to sit in the fridge.
Okay.
And then I've got a 1/4 cup of sugar. You can, this is to taste. Depending on what you like, you can do a little bit more, you can do a little bit less.
Rock melon's naturally sweet, and in my memory of melon drink is you just want to have a hint of sweetness to make it pop, make it sing.
So, I mean, it's smelling really good already.
Very fragrant.
We're just gonna pop a lid on that, and then that's gonna sit in the fridge for about an hour. You can do it overnight. That is melon, as I used to drink it as a kid. So if you have kids, that's something that's really cool that you can serve them.
Now, the hour in the fridge, is that just to infuse it with flavour, bring out the sweetness?
Exactly. Lasts for 2 days, I would say, at the most. And that'll just intensify that rock melon flavour. But yeah, really cool to just keep in your fridge on a hot summer's day.
Okay, so what else are we adding to the melon?
And here is one I prepared earlier. One for you, one for me. We're going to start off with some gin. So this is from 4 Pillars. They've got a few different gins. This is their olive leaf gin, which if you like dirty martinis, this is delicious. We're going to add 10 mils of lime. So I'm going to go just straight into here. And then we're going to go with some local Victorian honey. We've already got a little bit of sugar in this, but there are so many local apiaries around, and I just love honey because it adds a little bit more of that aromatic. So depending on, what's in your area, you might get a little bit of eucalyptus or lemon myrtle or whatever it might be. Even some honeys are super citrusy, so it just adds like a little bit extra.
I mean, it's the terroir, right? We talk about it in wine, but in reality, you can have it in any ingredient, and I think honey's a really great example of that.
I'm going to use my bar spoon.
I'm already starting
a huge
to smell
mess.
all of those flavours coming through.
We're going to also just add a little bit of pink grapefruit juice.
Beautiful.
This is just going to balance out a little bit of that sweetness because we've got a lot of sweet elements with the sugar and the honey, and then we're just going to top it up with our melon.
I mean, that's Filipino cooking. It's rustic, it's no rules, it's just enjoy.
Exactly. Ooh, yeah. We're going to give this a little stir. See how you've got those little pulpy bits?
Yeah.
Little garnish of pink grapefruit.
Perfect. Okay, well, cheers.
Cheers. It could do with a bit more gin.
I was just thinking the same thing. But I love it. You can taste that rock melon there, the little bits of citrus coming through, the subtleness of the honey.
Yeah, I just love it.